G'day, my name's Phil O'Brien, and I'm no big deal. But about 25 years ago, I unshackled the chains of society and threw them out the car window, and I set myself free. Security in the suburbs never really appealed to me. I just didn't like doing what everybody else was doing. Oh well, another day at the office.
Well, I travel down the road and I pull.
But like the experts always reckon, a rolling stone gathers no moss. And my total package these days is an old Toyota, a guitar and a swag. But when I'm out on the road, I feel like a king. And I've got the fantastic Northern Territory as my own backyard, and with a friend on every corner. I suppose you might say I just like living free and simple. Now this particular journey you're about to witness starts just south of Darwin on the mighty Stuart Highway. And from there, well, it's anyone's guess. Forward planning isn't really my strong point, but like I always reckon, when I'm thumping down this highway in the old Toyota, I change direction for no one. Hey, how you going?
I'm trying to get a lift up to Litchfield National Park. I'm going to paint some of those beautiful landscapes there.
That's great. That's exactly what I'm doing. Chuck your stuff in the back and let's go.
My name's Ursula.
My name's Phil. And like I always reckon, in the Outback, you gotta be flexible. I've always said that. You know, Ursula, looking out here, it's paradise.
It is, absolutely.
We're so lucky living in Australia. Litchfield National Park. I hadn't been here for a few years and it felt like I was being reunited with an old lover. 1,500 square kilometres of weathered and ancient landscapes, pristine waterways and spectacular scenery. It's as if Mother Nature decided to create a showcase. So she took the best of everything from around and she assembled it right here. To the people of the Northern Territory, it's like having the Garden of Eden in your own back pocket. Now, coming here and making out I was an artist wasn't quite in the game plan, but like I always reckon, it doesn't hurt a bloke to wing it every now and again, and besides, it was a small price to pay to spend time in such a special place and with such charming company. And just between you and me, I think spectacular Litchfield really did bring out the creativity in me. My new hitchhiking mate Ursula wasn't doing too bad herself. She really did have an eye for good art.
Hold that pose. I love the way the light's hitting that thong. That's it, Phil. Just keep it natural.
Now, call me optimistic, but I felt me and Ursula were really starting to click. So I thought I'd share some of my intimate knowledge of Litchfield National Park with her. She probably wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about, but if I kept it simple, she just might pick up a bit of handy info off me.
You know, Ursula, Litchfield National Park really is an amazing place. And I actually do know a bit about this country. You know, the escarpment, it runs right through the middle of the park, right? Now when it rains, the sandstone escarpment soaks the water up like a sponge.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Like the sands and the superficial sands there, they soak up that water, and then that water works its way down, right down into the old Proterozoic hard sandstone. And it's in that hard Proterozoic rock where there's fractured and weathered and jointed zones where the water collects and then forms an aquifer. And at the base of the escarpment, that's where that aquifer discharges, where there's a drop in the landscape. And that's where we get all this beautiful water from those springs at the base of the escarpment.
I was just getting to that bit.
Yeah.
I was. I really love just walking around the bush here at Litchfield because there's so many different species of trees. And I'll never get sick of just checking out the different species. Like, just check out this paperbark over here. It's one of my favourites. I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, the paperbarks, they're great. The Aboriginal people, they've got lots of uses for this tree. They use the bark for their shelter, their bedding. Within their cooking, they eat the nectar from the flowers, and the leaves, they infuse the leaves, which helps with colds and flu and headaches.
Well, like I was saying, it's a pretty handy tree.
Ursula sounded like she'd just swallowed a book on flora and fauna in the Northern Territory. This girl wasn't your average hitchhiker, but I could understand her excitement because Litchfield is no ordinary place. It's home to hundreds of species of birds and an incredible diversity in flora. So I thought we'd go for a drive, have a look around, and maybe see something she didn't know too much about. In this part of the country, especially in the cooler dry season months, it's not uncommon to come across controlled fires. Now these fires are a way of regenerating the bush, and it's a technique adopted from the Aboriginal people who have traversed this country for 40,000 plus years, and their knowledge still flows. And there was enough electricity flowing between me and Ursula to light up a suburban shopping centre.
I'm standing on this piece of ground, you're looking up, I'm looking down. When you go straight, I zigzag round, you wear a smile, I wear a frown. I feel I'm just a pebble on a shore that goes for miles. When waves of doubt wash over me, just look at me and smile. You're the anchor on the chain.
Watch out for snakes, Ursula.
Yeah, they make lots of noise.
I'd hate to have to suck the poison out.
I can understand that.
Well, whenever I don't know what to do, you're there to help me stumble through.
Check this out, Ursula.
Whenever I wander from my path, you're the candle in my
Unbelievable.
Certainly is. There's an awful lot of them, isn't there?
Magnetic termite mounds. One of the most fascinating things nature has given to Outback Australia. Now these fantastic structures, Ursula, they always point magnetic north.
Yeah, that's right. They always point north. And that way, the morning sun and the afternoon sun warms the broad face of the termite mound. And it's only this thin section here that gets the hot midday sun. And that way, they thermoregulate the mound, keeping the nest a nice constant 30 degrees. They're pretty clever architects.
What did you say you actually did for a job again?
I'm a scientist, Phil.
Ah. Round the corner, spinifex flat. The sun going down and nothing prettier than that. I look into your eyes and the sun is in your smile. You feel the way I'm feeling, let's make love for a while. Spirit of Australia.
I think all this flora and fauna of beautiful Litchfield really brought out the best in both of us. Ursula was giving off enough heat to start a grass fire, and I just couldn't help but burst into song. I'd really hit the jackpot. A ravishing, hitchhiking artistic scientist had dropped straight into me lap. And for a nomad drifting around the back blocks of the Northern Territory, it doesn't get much better than that. I'll give you the big tip on that one.
Well, I'm in the mood.
So it was time to do what any respectable citizen of the Northern Territory would have done in my position.
For feeling free.
Go find a romantic sunset and tell her about those feelings I've been having. And like I always reckon, if you keep it honest, you just can't go wrong.
It was really good hanging out with a scientist like Ursula at Litchfield National Park. I really enjoyed all the information she gave me, but there was one bit of information she didn't quite explain, and that was the bit about her husband.
The charming township of Adelaide River was enough to warm the cockles of any man's heart. It's got everything a Northern Territory nomad needs to survive. Diesel, cold beer and friendly people. Set amongst the shady upper reaches of the Adelaide River, it's a really peaceful town, combining a little bit of the old with some of the new. And although the train doesn't actually stop here, it gives everyone something to look at, and that's the main thing. Back in World War II, Adelaide River was a major staging area in our do-or-die conflict against Japan, and many Allied soldiers are buried here, in this beautifully kept war cemetery. And I can think of worse places to be buried. Now, it's almost against the law to drive through Adelaide River and not stop and say g'day. The doors are always open to any weary traveller.
Here in the township of Adelaide River, the pub is the nerve centre. It's a great institution, the 303 bar. Now, there's no university in Adelaide River, but it doesn't matter, because after a few beers, there's always some bloke in there that knows everything, and they share the information freely. Now, if you look around Adelaide River, there's not many churches. But the funny thing is, after about 11 o'clock on most nights, people start talking in tongues. It's a religious phenomenon. And if you're into politics, some of the world's major problems have been solved right here at the 303 bar in Adelaide River.
And apart from everything I just said, you can always find someone to have a beer with.
Di, can I have another one of those things? Great.
Here comes old Waldo.
Hey, Waldo!
Old Waldo, amongst other things, was what you'd call a gifted bush poet.
How's it going, Waldo?
Bluey, bloody Bluey. My favourite bloody dog. He's always chasing bitches, roos and bloody hogs. He tried to eat a whip snake that was lying in the grass. The bugger spun around and nearly bit old Bluey's ass.
But everything he said rhymed. He just couldn't help himself.
Hey, anyone want to hear a poem?
You just never knew with old Waldo. Now, there was a time when buffaloes weren't all stuffed and mounted on people's front bars. And as I stared into my lonely campfire later that day, I thought I could once again see the great herds roaming across the floodplain. And hey, I was only drinking a cup of tea, but the memories were so vivid. Next morning, I was up with the sun, and I crossed the sacred floodplains where the great herds once roamed. Introduced from Timor in the early 1800s as a beast of burden for the early European settlers, the buffalo adapted to northern Australian conditions so well, by the turn of the century, they'd gone wild and bred up to huge proportions. Now this gave birth to a new industry and a new breed of man. If you were tough enough, smart enough and game enough, you had a chance to carve your name in history. Terry Baldwin was all the above, but come the 1980s, the bubble burst on the buffalo industry. The government decided it was time to eradicate this feral visitor, and so the great herds were blasted into the history books forever. With Terry's livelihood fast disappearing, it was time to do what any respectable citizen of the Northern Territory would have done in his position. He went out and he built a pub, the Bark Hut Inn. So Terry, you come here as a pioneer. There was nothing here, just a couple of humpies,
Exactly.
a few anteals and a bit of spinifex, and you build it up. But the Territory was a wild place, and people were just living wild and free, and
It was.
rules could be bent.
Oh, bent and twisted, no problem. And most people knew that, and that's the way it was. And still friendly,
Yeah,
and pay back a good deed, and so on and so forth.
yeah.
There were some real bad guys amongst it all, yes, that's a fact.
So you got the Bark Hut up and running. In the early days, what were the people like that used to drink there?
Fantastic. We used to put on a lot of dues.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm a very shy guy. And it terrified me to get behind that bar, but I
Did it?
Yes. I'll never forget the first day. We had a sign out, now open. This guy came in the morning,
Yeah.
and I'm all over him like a rash. And he I could see him stepping back.
Your first
And
customer.
I said, have a coffee, you know, what could I get you? On the house. I forgot to tell him he was the first guy.
How
I think he thought I was crazy. He eventually shot through.
Did he?
He didn't know to stay
He just
long.
couldn't cope with
He
it.
thought I was a weirdie. And you've got to do these crazy things. I remember I always wanted to walk the bar.
Yeah.
So on my birthday one night, I had a look in to see there's not too many people. And I went again and got a lot of 20s.
Yeah.
No good getting big stuff. And I jumped up on the bar and we had a brass bell.
Yeah.
And I'm ringing that and ducking under the fans. And one guy, I hadn't even got down off the bar, this is Aussie, right? This is Australia. He rushed up the bar, he said, I'll have a triple rum. I said, no you don't, when I shout you have a single. You seen anybody shout at the bar? Publicly?
Not for a while.
No, they don't anymore.
Nah.
Don't do it much ever.
So you reckon if you're going to shout the bar, don't shout too much, just have 20s.
No, if it's going to cost you $1,000, have it in 20s.
Oh,
Instead of 50s and 100s. It's more impressive. It's a big bundle. It looks more. Salesmanship.
And this fantastic structure behind us, Terry, this was your first homestead?
That's right. When we came here, Bush built Humpy here with a dirt floor. We built this entirely with Aboriginal people and the whole of the station. Fantastic people.
How'd you make your money in those days? What were you running here, cattle or?
The place was covered in gold. Buffalo, black, like the grass.
Buffalo everywhere.
Everywhere. Cattle, quite a number. Crocodiles and barramundi, and we did the lot. It was a land of golden opportunities and gold wherever you like. And all you had to do was bend down and pick it up. Just go like that, a bit of sweat. Well, I lived here for 20 odd years. Then over the bark huts for another 6 years.
Yep.
As publican.
Yep.
And this was our drinking water in the dry season.
This beautiful billabong here.
Yes, it was our bath. We used to wash the clothes there.
Did you?
Yes.
Everything?
Everything. Down the end there,
Yeah.
I used to sit there, stark naked, washing, and the catfish nibbling your toes.
While you were doing the washing?
Yeah, absolutely. And one day, you can imagine how thick the buffalo were.
Yeah.
The people had a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
So there was a buffalo not far out, and the dogs got onto it. And they fight them off for a while. Then he run down, not far from me, and jumped into the billabong.
The water buffalo did?
Yes. Well, I grabbed my clothes and I'm watching it, and he looked around, turned around, and he had one eye.
Yeah.
And the blind eye was towards me. So I just took off. Because if he'd have seen me, I think he'd have been after me.
He would have charged.
He was really steamed up.
Was he?
Yeah.
So is it-
Now this is...
The bark hut was iconic. It was a must-stop, have a beer place.
Yeah,
It
it
was-
was the first one out of Darwin.
Yeah.
And the billabong here is the only croc-free, safe swimming east of the Stewart Highway.
Yeah.
So they could camp here for $1 a night. And
Hey, Terry, all this talk of hard work and the old days and stuff's making me thirsty. Any chance of having a look at this pub you built?
absolutely, let's go and have a jug.
Let's go.
Okay.
Terry knew this place like the back of his hands, and so he should. It was those same very hands that built it. And his eyes shone bright as the memories come flooding back. And once again, he was out on the floodplain, doing battle with the great herds.
Picture's fiction, but oh no, it didn't look good. Oh no, it didn't look good.
They're charging towards me. And I run up to a paperbark tree as thick as your two thumbs.
Yeah.
And I fire. Telescopic sight will kill you. You cannot find the target in close range.
Yeah.
So I held it in the hip, bang, and it took him down the cheek next to me.
Yeah.
And he veered. Luckily, I'd have been dead. Now, that was 5 steps away when I fired. And as he went past, I slid one into the engine room. And away he went, got about 70 metres, stopped, they wagged their tail, lift the back leg, and over they go.
Dead.
Got him through the engine room.
Yeah, cheers, Terry.
All the best.
Thanks for showing us
No
around.
problem. Glad to see you.
After spending some quality time with a bloke like Terry Baldwin, I was inspired. Just like Terry, I really wanted to make something of my life, but I'd probably left me run a bit too late. Maybe one of these days I'll get a job and settle down and plan for the future. What a concept. The old Toyota was taking me east at a very hectic 80 kilometres per hour. It It mightn't have been the quickest four-wheel drive around, and it mightn't have been the smoothest, but like I always reckon, the early explorers would have bloody loved one. Coming up was World Heritage Kakadu National Park, 20,000 square kilometres of one of the most stunning and culturally significant areas in the world.
I always love heading out to Kakadu. It's a great place and it's got some great memories for me out there. I spent a lot of time in that area. I never forget when I was a young bloke, I was working out there as a tour guide, doing safaris, camping safaris, and I was so conscientious and I was so passionate about that country. My first day on the job, I had about 10 Germans showing them around Kakadu and I was so keen to give them a good time. Straight up there. I was telling them all about the trees, all about the bush, all about the Aboriginal culture. Yeah. I was going right over the top. So the sun finally went down on me big first day as a safari guide and I got the guitar out and I started singing them a song.
Watch you spun me round.
Just to top off a perfect day. 10 Germans and me in Kakadu.
Try to share a moment with you.
I'm singing me song. Halfway through the song, some of them started looking horrified. Some of them looked scared, and some looked quite upset. And I thought, well, you know, it's a sad song, but hey, it's not that sad. And anyway, I sort of had to play a hard chord, so I looked down at my left hand to play that chord, and I noticed my left testicle had fallen out the side of my shorts. Now, I tried to stay professional. So at the end of the song, I said, look, folks, old tradition, in the Northern Territory, we always sit around the campfire with one ball hanging out. And the funny thing is, some of them actually believe me. Have a look at that. Beautiful. Now, travelling around the Northern Territory like I do, it's a simple life, it's a basic life, but it's fantastic. You don't need a lot of money. Now, I'm quite well known for never having much of it. These days, everyone's too money conscious, you know, but to me, the real currency in life is time, because you only get so much of it, so you've got to spend it wisely. Time is the real currency. So that's why I invested wisely in this $9.99 chair. Like I always reckon, you don't have to be part of anyone's royal family to sit on a throne in the Northern Territory. For $9.99, you can go buy your own throne, saddle up, and not only that, you get your own kingdom as well.
Dusty country, the muddy water takes me sideways from myself. Watch the brokers flying over into sunsets bloody well. Come the monsoon, minds ain't got no room to keep us from saying things we say. Monsoon's over, lost my lover. The rains and her have gone their way.
Now, deep in the heart of Kakadu, at a place called Mudajul, is a story as beautiful as the country itself. Two sisters with two amazingly different journeys. Mandy Muir, born and bred in Kakadu, is a great ambassador for her Indigenous culture. Her sister Shelley Morris, raised in the city, has blossomed into a singer-songwriter of distinction. And finally, together again, these Kakadu sisters have so much to share.
Gee, I thought we'd be able to get more than that, Shelley Morris. What, you had to practice playing too much guitar, eh? You shot the both of them so you can pluck them?
Okay. Might need a hand.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'll be a little bit long time.
You'll have to learn how to cook it now.
Yeah, I'm so hungry I could eat the bum out of this thing, this goose.
No, well, sorry, you're shit out of luck. That's my favourite part. Start plucking it. Gotta chop the feet off. Yeah, I'll show you how to do this, Shelley. I'll make an expert out of you yet. Yeah, from where that joint is. Yeah. You're getting good, Shelley.
Getting there. I'm getting there. I've got my L plates on.
All the way from the streets of Sydney, huh?
Yeah.
We'll start plucking.
I'm doing it. Hey, look, too fast. She's always in
Jason on ganun pero.
She's always ringing me from a new
Yemut kinye, amut kinye.
Kinye, kinye. Hey, he's on fire.
Yeah, that's all right. It's meant to be.
I'm cinching it before we get it ready, just to get all the feathers off, eh?
You're getting good, Shelley Morris, I think.
She read some. She dances like a brogar and stings like a bee.
KFG.
What's that KFG?
Kakadu fried goose. What do I get?
Hey, that looks like Phil O'Brien.
It does too. It is Phil O'Brien, eh?
Yeah, look now.
Hey Phil, how you going, Phil?
Hey, Phil, pull up a chair.
What's happening?
Hey, long time no see, eh?
Yeah.
How you been keeping?
Yeah, good.
Good to see you.
Good to see
Good
you.
to see you, Mandy.
Good.
You looking well?
Yeah.
See, I come at the right time.
Yeah, we're just having a big feed of goose here.
I could smell that from about 15k away.
Well, what have you been up to?
Oh, looking for love in all the wrong places. As usual.
As usual.
What have you been up to?
Well, I just got back from London
Yeah,
and Sweden, went there, do some singing.
rock star.
I don't know about that. But going over there doing some singing, and it's just so good coming out here. Yeah, so it was lucky to have a couple of days to come and chill out and
Eat some goose.
eat some goose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just read her face when I know when she's come back from trips. You can see her, she's, jet lagged and tired and drained, and nothing better than to come out bush and just chill out.
Mandy, you and Shelley, like sisters, right? And you can't half tell, right?
Yeah.
Two good-looking women. Okay. But I have never met two people that have led two completely different, or had two different journeys in life, but have ended it back at the place where they started. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Shelley, like, you were adopted as a child.
Yes, I was
right?
adopted.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Sydney in the Sutherland Shire, and I grew up with a beautiful non-Indigenous family,
Yeah.
white fellas, and they loved me very much and grew me up and
Did a great job.
did a great job, and they always thought it was really important for me to find where I belonged. They adopted 3 children. They reckon I picked them when I was a baby one. But they always kept reminding me, you've got more family than us, and if you ever want to find them, we'll support you in that. I wanted to get, a big corporate job and have a big flash motor car,
and drive around and have lots of money and a house with a white picket fence and the
when I-
2.5 kids and the cat, the dog and the bird.
When I did meet you, you were wearing a business suit.
Yes, I
And I
know.
must admit, how did you find your way back here?
Well, that telephone now, that link up people.
Right.
And then
They put you in touch.
Yes, yeah,
With family.
and with family, and then we went from there.
Bang. Here you are.
Yeah,
Sitting around the campfire
13 years later. 12,
with
13
your
years
beautiful sister and
Yep.
some old hobo that just blew in looking for a bit of goose. You've hit the jackpot.
later. I hit the jackpot. In more ways than one, Phil, you know.
Mandy, what was it like growing up in a great place like Kakadu?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we had a lot of old people around us, you know, always taking us out, you know, hunting and talking about country and how to look after it.
Traditionally, like, Aboriginal people like to share the knowledge, don't they, and
Yeah.
teach. It's just natural for them.
Yep.
So, being in this industry, like tourism industry, it's sort of a bit natural. It's all about education, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, you know, Mum always says, oh, what, you know, you good at that, all yucking your head off. I'm saying, nah, Mum, you know, it's about educating people, you know, telling them and telling them why we are, and, you know, conservation, land management for us, very important, you know. Teaching our younger ones, the next generation, going to be, you know, taking care of it when we're gone. So no, all very important. And of course educating the, you know, the many thousands of people that come. You know,
Yeah, a lot of them have got no idea about Aboriginal culture or
yeah,
living closely connected to the land.
yeah,
A lot of people now live in the city.
yep. Oh look, they're
And,
so clueless.
It's a different life, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we're starting to get a good amount of Australians coming through and come and sitting down with us. I suppose they would never have imagined to come and have an experience with
That's
the
right.
Indigenous people. You know, we all got something to offer in the way of education for, you know, people. And once they've broken that ice, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, their whole life basically changes because they'll go back and they'll engage in those Aboriginal people down the street and they'll understand a bit more. Oh, how you going, brother, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be much more, yeah,
But
they'll
yeah,
be
they
much
just-
more engaging. You know, with that, you know, and Mandy was telling that story of, you know, the sharing of culture and things, it just comes very naturally for Mandy to teach me and take
Yeah.
me under her wing and, you know, and we have a laugh and, you know, it's really fantastic. I feel incredibly proud.
So, when you found your way from Sydney back here, back to the Territory, you found Mandy, you found Kakadu again. That's when your music career really took off. It must have been something in you that was just born again.
Yeah,
You must.
it was. I mean, true, because I think there's such a great, as an Indigenous person or Aboriginal person, if you grow up with no knowledge of who you are, you feel a little bit lost. And so when I, you know, found Nana and all the aunties and Mandy, I went, oh, you know, and it wasn't anybody's fault. Like it wasn't, you know, Mum and Dad did the best job, but even they noticed through the goodness of their heart that, oh, look, you know, she really needs to be reconnected.
So,
Yeah.
so as soon as you're lucky enough to reconnect, your whole world
Yep.
just got way bigger, didn't it?
Yeah,
It got way bigger.
because I knew who I was. And I knew, you know, where my smile come from, and I knew where even, you know, singing and playing guitar is part of in our family, you know. You know, everything sort of matches up and you can feel a sense of confidence and a sense of, yeah, it's a very, very wonderful thing. Yeah.
It must have been a very emotional time.
Yeah.
About as emotional as it's going to get when my teeth sink into that goose.
Yeah, you'll be crying because you might go to get that little bit.
I'm going to be moved. What do you reckon?
Overwhelmed.
Almost ready?
By the taste, yeah, yep. I reckon we should take it off and cut them up.
just like the wind, I blew out of Kakadu and headed south. And after an intense, drawn-out decision on where to head to next, which lasted the length of a cup of tea, I decided to get off the beaten track a bit and push on out to a remote cattle station called Mountain Valley. It's not quite the end of the world, but they say you can see it from there. The cattle industry is an important part of the Northern Territory economy, and that's due to the fact there's way more cattle live here than people. It takes a mighty man to tame that vast, lonely country. But one man has risen to the challenge and against all odds become a legend. And he goes by the name of Ben Tapp, the cattle king of Mountain Valley. And with a backyard that stretches for 2 million square acres, Ben Tapp likes to let everyone know who's boss. You know, Ben, when you left home as a kid, you had bugger all. Oh, what was it, an old Toyota and a saddle. But I've always wanted to ask you, what drives you when you get up in the morning? I know it's not money. What drives you to keep going, to keep building this empire?
Oh, well, I like it. Like, I like doing what I do. It's just something that I just know I just want to keep doing, you know, and if I just sort of, I do want to. I always sort of had a plan. I want to run 150,000 head of cattle.
In the 15 years I've known you, I've never seen you take a backward step ever in any walk of life, right? Has it got you into much trouble, you reckon?
Well, I suppose sometime it might make things a little bit more difficult, but it's the same. At the end, I believe, you know, you're going to feel good about yourself. And if you sort of sidestep it or back off to satisfy somebody else, or you won't feel good about yourself. So that's just an inevitable, the confrontations I think you have.
Now falling in from behind, keep the side. There now, now get in there now, get him going.
There's no TV or radio reception here at Mountain Valley, which means one of the main forms of entertainment is just simply talking and sharing yarns and stories.
Still won't listen.
Tell us about that time you heard the two crows talking to each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd bloody think I'm a bit mad if I tell you that one.
No, you reckon it was true?
Yeah. I reckon we heard them there talking there one day, and that one there, he's saying to the other one there, hey, they're the dead horse. They're the dead horse. And that other one went, where? Over there. I reckon, I'll have his eye. And that other reckon, yeah, I'll have his arsehole.
you know, it's tough country here, cattle country, Northern Territory. You've carved out your own stake in it, and it's been hard. You know, it's been a lifetime's work, and it's an ongoing thing with you. But what advice have you got for young people now leaving school? What advice have you got for them to face the world and follow their dreams?
Well, my philosophy in a nutshell about things is there's two moments in life. There's now and too late. That's it.
Do you see yourself as a bit of a philosopher? Bit of a bush philosopher?
Well, I don't know about a philosopher, but it's experience, you know, just being in the bush, just living with people all the time. You see all sorts come and go, and you know, you pick a bit up off this fella and a bit up that, but I do know, like the philosophy side, is that everything is just all about your own mentality, you know, how you accept it, and that's the difference between getting on and not getting on.
Out here, you gotta be self-sufficient. And killing and butchering a beast is all in a day's work. It's not pretty, but it's part of the cycle of life on a Territory cattle station. And needless to say, this job doesn't attract a lot of vegetarians. And the boys at Mountain Valley use a knife the same way Picasso used a brush. Delicately, but with great passion.
Now, a place like Mountain Valley Station, very remote. There's no shops, there's no supermarkets. You've got to be resourceful. You've got to look after yourself. Now, I'm just going to do a little bit of a demonstration. A daily chore here at Mountain Valley is making a loaf of bush bread or damper, what we call in the bush damper. And it's a really heavy, solid loaf, and you cook it in the coals, and one slice of damper usually does you all day with a bit of meat on it or a bit of golden syrup or jam. It's good for when you've got to do hard work. So, it's not rocket science. We just start off with self-raising flour. Just self-raising flour and a bit of water I just got from that spring at the back of me. Put a bit of water in there, and then you just work it. You just keep working it around. No big deal. Some people put garlic in, some people put herbs in, some people even put a tin of beer in. But you don't have to do any of that. Just keep it original. Don't be too rough. We've got to eat this later. Just keep working that beautiful spring water into that self-raising flour. I'm already getting pretty excited just doing this. And she eventually takes shape. You just get it. When it's nice and smooth and it's not sticky, good consistency, she's ready to go in. Okay, just place it in the camp oven, cast iron camp oven. You can buy them pretty cheap, they last you a lifetime. So we put her in there. Looks beautiful. I'm getting even more excited than I was 5 minutes ago. Okay, now, this is where the hard bit comes. We're just going to cook it on the coals, but the coals have got to be just right. Otherwise you're going to end up with a burnt damper on the outside and doughy on the inside, and that's not going to be too good for your reputation. So I've got some good coals here. We're just going to put some on the bottom of this little pit here. Okay. Just feel for a bit of, yeah, she's pretty hot. That's about it. Whack the camp oven on. We put some around the sides. Try and get it even. Now that's plenty of coals. You don't want to blow it to smithereens. You just want that solid heat to work its way into the camp oven, work its way right through that damper. One bite and you're going to be going straight up. Heaven. Lastly, we put about a shovel full of coals on the lid so we get that nice heat all through the camp oven, nice and consistent. Yeah, that's a nice consistent heat. We'll leave it for about half an hour. We'll come back and we'll top those coals up. Just another little sprinkling of coals around the camp oven on top. Then we'll give it another half hour and she should be close to being cooked. For blokes like me that drift around the bush, never really got much money, just cooking on the campfires is just one of those simple pleasures in life. Making stuff like a damper. In locations like this, Mountain Valley. Cattle walking around in the background, beautiful weather, sun shining. It doesn't get much better than that, I'll tell you. She's been in the coals now for about an hour and 15, so she should be done. We'll just lift the lid and have a look. Perfect. Out she comes, very hot. Oh yeah. We'll just slice a bit off. It's best eaten when it's hot. Now, check this out. Oh, beautiful. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But there's one thing missing, and that's a bit of fresh beef to have with this beautiful damper.
Did someone mention anything about beef?
What kept you?
Well, barbecue is a mighty, mighty good. Yeah, barbecue is a mighty, mighty good. Well, when I start cooking, you can smell it all over the neighborhood. Well, I got my meadow, I got my meat, I got plenty of heat. So let's eat. Well, barbecue is a mighty, mighty good. You can do it on gas, on charcoal, or on wood.
What do you reckon?
Mountain Valley had everything a Northern Territory nomad needs to survive. Camaraderie and good beef. But it was time to push on, and so I set sail into a beautiful sunrise. Each day is a new day, and I didn't feel like a bloke that had been on the road for 25 years. I felt like it was me first day and me first mile, and the world was my oyster. If I turned and headed north, I'd hit the Arnhem Land coast with its untouched wilderness and fantastic hospitality of the Yulinu people that live there. Or maybe, if I drifted south, I'd slide into the spirit-filled Red Centre, where the McDonnell Ranges roll like waves over a sea of spinifex, and majestic Uluru, Catajuda, Kings Canyon, or the mysterious Devil's Marbles. Powerful, beautiful country. Or I could split the difference and head southeast and lose myself in the mystery of the lost city. Or cool off in the paradise waters of Catherine Gorge. And there was plenty of good country out west as well. The Northern Territory has so much to offer. For me, there's no need to go anywhere else. It's a world within a world. It's my world. But out of the blue, like a thief in the night, tragedy struck. And that world fell apart.
No, 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 no.
The old Toyota's ever-willing heart had finally seized up and blown up. And the old girl had decided it was time to go up to that big Toyota dealership up in the sky.
Time just don't like standing still. Adios, amigo.
After the funeral, I headed off on foot to see an old prospector called Steely Dan. He was a bit of a rogue, but I was in the middle of nowhere, and he was my only option.
Hey, Steely! Steely, in there! Steely!
And true to form, old Steely Dan must have seen me coming,
How you been
and he had it all worked out.
I got some bad news. The old Toyota, I cooked her. She's dead, I killed it. I need your help, Steely. You got any modest transport I can buy off you, just so I can keep rolling?
I might just have the thing for you.
You're joking.
Come this way.
All right, yeah.
This'll take you anywhere you want to go, young O'Brien.
Sounds good, Steely. You're a lifesaver.
Born out in the country, he spent his childhood in the saddle, behind the mobs of cattle on the trail. Until the day
Hope you're a good listener, Eddie. I'm feeling pretty emotional. Normally it's women I don't have any luck with. I never thought that old Toyota had let me down.
like the crowded rooms as the days pass slowly by. He wanted to be back in his swag beneath the starry sky, 'cause he was country. And he told them that he didn't like the rat race. He was used to riding horses in the open space. Country boy who felt at home, tailing out a mob. A cowboy happy to just get on with the job. And although he's trying hard, he's in a place he don't enjoy. 'Cause you could take the boy out of the bush, but you can't take the bush out of the boy.
Hey, where you heading?
Any place you are.
Take your gear in and hop in.
For the sunlight, catch the little pony he'd locked up the night before. Then he'd ride into the darkness to round up the stock horses, put them in the yard before the men came down to score. Then he'd slip away and grab himself a pannikin of tea, back into the saddle as soon as he could see, 'cause he was country. And he told him that he didn't like the rat race. He was used to riding horses in the open space. Country boy who felt at home, tailing out a mob. A cowboy happy to just get on with the job. And although he's trying hard, he's in a place he don't enjoy.